Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And as the countdown to the World Championship reaches its conclusion, the teams are out there in Los Angeles getting ready to go. One of the 8 teams will win the entire thing, but certainly these squads have been talking behind the scenes the last few days about the Minnesota Rokkr not necessarily looking so good since their Stage 5 major triumph. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Also, thank you for 66,000 subscribers. Almost 2/3 of the way there to the big one. Absolutely fantastic scenes. Usually it's at this point I say, okay, 50% of you guys haven't yet subscribed, so think about doing that. But actually now it's more than 50%, so keep up the great work, ladies and gentlemen. Let's crack on then, because of course the bracket predictions has been something which a lot of people have been talking about as of late. And they're doing the same thing as last year. The perfect bracket, if you predict the entire thing perfectly from start to finish, all the map predictions and all that type of stuff correctly, you win $100,000, which isn't too bad. Last year no one got it, because of course it's incredibly difficult to do. Maybe this year it will happen. The best bracket still wins 10k regardless, so maybe give that one a go. I did my full bracket prediction, Austin, Easy Mac O'Neil and Lion Man did the same thing a couple of days ago on the Breaking Boy podcast if you guys want to check that out. And well, I knew that Austin was going to pick FaZe to win the entire thing. I thought Lion might pick Rokkr, so I decided to go with Toronto Ultra, go with the European Brethren, and say they're going to beat FaZe 5-4 in the grand finals. Pretty optimistic, to be honest. And then they're going to also come for the winners bracket, and I've got FaZe, I think, beating OpTic to knock OpTic out top 3, because that's always where they tend to place at these types of tournaments. So I don't really know what's going to happen. Any team can win it, to be honest, apart from maybe some of those teams in the lower side early on that have certainly a difficult time making this incredible run. One of those teams, to be fair, is Los Angeles Thieves. Even though Slasher and these guys, when they are in the lower bracket, they are a force to be reckoned with. Can they do it this time? It's going to be tough. They are having this like tailgate thing going on, which is pretty cool. So they're doing some giveaways and stuff like this. If you guys want to drop past, if you happen to be out of the venue, it's going on pretty much the entire weekend, just well, near the venue or something along those lines, outside the Shrine Auditorium, something along those lines. Pretty cool to see regardless. Can Thieves make this incredible run though? It is not going to be easy to do so. So a lot of these teams, they're flying out, they're getting ready to go. Scump and Co, they're out finally yesterday. Of course, I'm pretty sure the rest of the team flew out a day earlier than Scump and Envoy did. They delayed their flight by a day with the hope that they would get a negative test, as indeed they did, as we talked about yesterday. So yeah, Scump and Co, they're out in Los Angeles right now, arrived in LA. One goal says Envoy, getting ready to go, no doubt, to try and make a run at this event. It's not going to be easy though, with the likes of Simp already there on the prowl. Los Angeles vibes are different, no doubt. You've also got the Toronto Ultra guys getting ready to go as well. So the teams are out there, they're vibing, they're preparing for the championship. And I mean, yeah, one of these 8 teams is going to win in front of so many fans. It's going to be a fantastic event. I'm pretty sure at this point it's exciting stuff, especially because of this, as Maven tweets out, flight to Los Angeles tomorrow. I cannot wait to get started. So casters are going to be there at the venue. I honestly can't wait for this one. It's been exciting. It's been a long couple of weeks, to be honest, if I'm kind of waiting for the World Championship, and some concerns behind the scenes. Will it even go ahead? Are fans going to be there? Everything seems to be okay. The players seem to be okay. So it's all coming to a nice conclusion, hopefully, for the CDL 2021. And who's going to win the entire thing? That, of course, remains to be seen. But fans in the venue, or casters in the venue even, that was pretty much the only concern with the previous major, was that the fact that the casters weren't there caused some issues with not only the fans in the venue hearing everything, but also, well, just for the experience from home as well, and also for the casters. Like, Maven is such a caster, I think. He's such a good caster, but he really thrives in a crowd environment, I think, and that's when he's at his best. So hopefully we get some great moments coming up this weekend as well, as certainly we did at the previous majors as well. But one of the teams that won the previous majors in, well, phenomenal fashion was the Stage 5 major. That was the Minnesota Rokkr. Now, yesterday, Envoy was playing in their $100,000 Rokkr Royale tournament with Temp and Khalifa, but still, he was having to say in a pretty interesting video yesterday, talking about why he believes that Minnesota Rokkr won't go back-to-back and win the World Championship. First of all, it's very difficult to do that anyway, right? Only like 3-4 teams have done it ever. Maybe way back in Black Ops 2, Eco Impact went back-to-back and they won the World Championship in the event prior to that. Then we had it with Envy in Black Ops 3. They did it in Stage 2 playoffs, and then the major, or then the World Championship, sorry. OpTic Gaming did it as well in Infinite Warfare, and then United did it, I think, in Black Ops 4. But it's pretty rare that it happens, and Rokkr are going to have a very difficult time, I think, doing it right here, especially if what Enable says happens to be true, that a lot of pros as of late have been talking behind the scenes, that actually Rokkr are nowhere near as good as they were at the Stage 5 major. They've been slacking off significantly, or not slacking off necessarily, but just performing poorly in practice compared to their Stage 5 major level, and that's going to open the door to some of these other squads.
You know, when you win, especially this late in the year, you win like that, you're feeling yourself. Nobody can fuck with us, you know, even if you don't show it. Up here, that's how they're thinking, which is, it's a very fair take. It's very fair for them to feel that way. But I've heard from pros, and this is just from what I've heard, I haven't seen any of their practice, that for the majority of their online scrims, from stage 5, from the major, I mean, up until champs, they've been kind of getting bodied by damn near everyone. That's what I heard. Could be false. Don't hurt the messenger. Okay. Kind of reverting back to how they were prior to stage 5, prior to that run at the major, where they're not a bad team by any means. They're a very solid team, but they're just not that great in respawns. So it's a little worrisome if that's the case, if that's the truth, because especially you don't want to be overly confident. Okay. You don't want to be arrogant to the point where it could cause your downfall. And that's something I'm worried about, because if this team does start out slow, they're in winners round 1. Okay. They didn't get a top 2 seed, so they don't have a bye. They played Dallas Empire.
So if what Enable's talking about indeed is the case, that a lot of these teams right now are saying, yes, actually, Minnesota Rokkr looking nowhere near as good as they were, that we've been kind of bodying them in scrims. Pretty much everyone who plays them is bodying them right now, which is, well, maybe a bit of a surprise. And also, they don't have an easy bracket at all. They made a crazy run at the Stage 5 Major, no doubt. It's one of those runs that it could be replicable, right? Obviously, they beat some great teams and they played some great Call of Duty. The problem is, going into that event, it was Atlanta FaZe that everyone was looking at, right? FaZe, the team to beat. And guess what? They go into that event and have a difficult time, get pretty hard counter-stratted by Rokkr, and you could argue even by Seattle Surge as well, and they fall out top 8 in that tournament. The same thing may well happen to Rokkr here. Like, I had a pretty hot take in my bracket. The Rokkr were going to place top 8 in this tournament when I did it on the Breaking Boy podcast, but I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility. Empire and Rokkr, to be fair, both of those squads have had weeks to prepare for each other, and I know that both of these squads are very well drilled. They will prepare incredibly well for this series, but still, I think that Empire have a very good chance coming into it, and Enable was saying even in that video he thinks that their favourites coming into this series, that being the Dallas guys. I'm not sure I'd necessarily go that far, but I still do have them, beating Rokkr in my bracket at least. And then Rokkr have to go down to losers to face a Los Angeles Thieves team with Slasher & Co, who always loves a lower bracket run. Now, at the same time, both of those matches would take place on the same day. Whoever loses this one will play Thieves later in the day, and that means that the team from winners technically is coming off at least coming off a match, right? So they're somewhat warm going into that series. But yes, this is the bracket, of course. FaZe and Ultra, I think technically should be the favourites just because they have that winners bracket bye. And I think FaZe, still most people are leaning towards them, but I think Ultra have a decent shot at this right here. Like, they're always a difficult team to beat, and maybe if they can somehow regain that clutch factor that obviously they had a difficult time executing at the latter half of the Stage 5 Major, they can make something happen. But I thought it was very interesting that pros implying that, yeah, Rokkr, the reigning Stage 5 champions, actually nowhere near the level they're going to need to be able to win the thing. And EasyMac was saying on the Breaking Boy podcast that he thinks FaZe are playing their best Call of Duty right now that they've played the entire year, which is kind of scary if you're on this upper side of the bracket. I mean, all these matches are going to be incredibly difficult. There's no easy games. Obviously, on the first day, it's OpTic, Subliners, it's Empire, Rokkr, then you get the 2 losers bracket games, then on the Friday, you play these games, and you can actually see the date on screen right here, and then the Championship Sunday, you only get the Grand Finals. That's going to be a best of 9. Last year, it had a 1-0 advantage in the winner side. I don't know if that will be the case this time around. Maybe not, given what we have seen so far this season. Wanted to mention this as well, actually, that came out from Mobile. Chrome pointed out yesterday, but it was on Scump stream a couple of days ago now, talking about the origin of his name. I think I've heard him talk about this before, but just because it was being talked about in the community, you guys may not have heard of it, so thought I'd throw it up on screen for you guys to enjoy if you haven't known about this already.
I came up with Scump. I was driving down the highway with my mom on the way to my uncle's house, and I saw the word scrumptious on a KFC billboard, and I got Scump out of it. That's how I got the name Scump. It's kind of an interesting story. It's sort of unbelievable almost.
So who are the key players to keep your eyes on heading into this World Championship? These are some of the ones that Lionman's been pointing out in his cards these last couple of days, doing all the cards for the entire season of all of these players. Thought it was pretty spectacular. This is Dashy's ones for the entire season. You can see right here, Stage 1 he was absolutely ridiculous, and Stage 5, or Stage 3, sorry, he actually has a 75 overall. I think this is because despite his KD being good, his kills per 10 minutes and these type of engagement statistics were nowhere near what they could have been, I guess, and were in other stages in the likes of Control and Search and Destroy, for example. This is kind of an interesting stage. These overall KD or these overall performances, they take into account not just KD but other statistics as well compared to the rest of the players in that particular role, and then they give some boost, I think, to the overalls if you actually win the tournament or do place particularly well in it. So thought that's kind of interesting. I always think these look particularly pretty on the screen, and these are Kenny's as well, for example. So he's been pretty good, but as of late maybe statistically might have been at his best during Stage 3. So still, who knows what happens going into games of this World Championship, it just is incredibly hard, I think, for those teams in the lower side, the likes of LA Thieves, because they start down there, down at the bottom. They're going to play a Minnesota Rokkr or a Dallas Empire, you know, and also Florida are going to play either OpTic or Subliners, whoever loses that one. And both of the teams they play are going to be off a match, so they're going to be hot, they're going to be warmed up, they're going to get ready to go. But Kenny and Slasher and those guys have certainly been a team that's done crazy things through the losers bracket before. And this is like, if there's one tournament format where losers bracket runs are possible, it's going to be this one, right? Because if you think about it, you've got to win a lot of matches, no doubt. But if you do make it to Championship Sunday, then you don't have any disadvantage. If anything, you have an advantage coming from the losers bracket that we have talked about. You come hot off some victories, and it's definitely possible. And these guys have done it before. There have been some crazy runs at World Championships in the past. Maybe this could be another year where there's another one. There's been a few crazy runs. 100 Thieves in Black Ops 4 was one of the most well-known examples, coming through from, I'm pretty sure, winners round 1, or losers round 1, sorry, all the way through to the grand finals. Envy did the same thing back at Ghosts Champs, but no one's done that incredible run from the losers bracket round 1 and won the entire tournament. Can it happen this time? Well, remains to be seen, no doubt. These are Envoy cards as well. I thought it was pretty impressive how he's stepped up in the latter half here. His control especially has been really, really good, especially as of late. I mean, damage for 10 minutes in that 99 purple category, always pretty attractive stuff. And just to finish off with this clip right here, because I mean, this is, as a European Call of Duty fan, this is a legendary moment really, from back in the Black Ops 3 World Championship. Splice versus Elevate. This is the losers bracket final. The winner of this goes on to play Envy in the grand finals. Of course, Envy would go on to win the entire thing. But this is, I mean, look, Black Ops 3, what a spectacular game. Some of the specialists you could argue are pretty questionable, but Glitch was one of the most fun ones I think we've had in Call of Duty history. And Facento was one of the best players with it. Bance was one of the best players at using it. And this is almost a 2 versus 4 retake for Elevate here in this game too. I'm pretty sure Splice would end up going on to win this series 3-0 and face Envy for a chance to win the tournament. But it's Bance making this a pretty incredible 1 versus 2 to, well, just about close them over the line. But tweeting your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I know you enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
One of the toughest rounds possible. A retake of the B site on Hunted is one of the worst situations you could be in. Felony, nice job getting first blood. He's getting tagged up though. Can he make it out with his life? It does appear so. 2 versus 3. The scenario a little bit more doable. Oh, Facento needed that kill though. This is looking grim.
All of a sudden it's a 2v2. Can they do it? The 2v4, maybe. Shots coming from behind. Back to Facento. He finds one. All of a sudden it's now Bance. 1v2. He has Glitch. Can they clutch the 2 versus 4?
Folks, you're about to watch a fantastic play. Bance soars on and he sees Felony. It's 1. He glitches out. He glitches out behind him. It's a double glitch. This team is done. Splice will take the map and go up 2-0.